Well, greetings everyone and welcome to another video. This video brings me down here to Chester County to a little village called St. Peter's. And I am down here to explore a old railroad bed that was here. The village of St. Peter's back in the day, I'd say the late 1800s, early 1900s up until the 1950s or 60s. This little village over here had quarries in it in which they took out iron ore and granite. And the building that you see right behind me is one of the buildings for the quarry company that was here, and the quarry is located just across the street. So we're going to try and get over there, see if we can get any pictures of the quarry that was here. But the old railroad is directly in front of me across the creek here, which is the French Creek that's here. That flows through this village, and this village is known for these big rocks and everything that are here, and people come and climb on these rocks. They take lots of pictures over here too for weddings, graduation photos and stuff. So this village, once it was no longer a quarry operation, was turned into a tourist attraction over here, and this place does get busy on the weekend, so I decided to come during the week when there is hardly anybody here. So the railroad that is here is actually a branch off of the Wilmington and Northern Railroad that went from Wilmington, Delaware, came up through Chester County and up through Birdsboro, which I filmed part of that in one of my other videos when I was over at the Birdsboro Preserve. But there was a branch that came over here to these quarries, and it was known as the Warwick Branch. So we are going to be walking along the old railroad bed, and the trail that is now on the bed is called the Horseshoe Trail. I did find one thing already as proof of the railroad being here when I pulled in, and that is the old train trestle that is up here at the end of the parking lot. So we are going to go up there and get pictures and show you that, and then venture down the railroad bed to Tie Hall Road, I think it's called. It's the next road down that goes over top of the hill here. And we're going to walk down to there and see if we can find any more remains of the railroad along the way other than the railroad bed itself. So it's a nice day for it. Should be a good time exploring and looking for the remains of this railroad. So let's get started and head down the trail. So right across the street there is the building for the quarry company that was here at one time, and the railroad is actually right over in here is the abandoned Warwick line. And what it did was it went up through, and it was almost like a switchback. It went up, crossed over the road, and I did find where it crossed up there. And then it came down and actually followed the road and actually went along right through here and down to the quarry where they loaded the cars. So the post office is right there, and the quarry is just behind the post office and that building over there. And you can see the what looks like there on the hill. You can see where they were doing quarry operations there and everything. So if I forget any information in the video here, I'll be sure to put it at the bottom. And I'll also insert old aerial photographs from back in the day when this was a quarry in here. And you can clearly see the railroad and the rail cars sitting here and everything. So there is the train trestle, and I'll zoom in a little bit here for you. But there is the trestle that goes across the French Creek here. and then it continues on over through the woods there. So don't know if we can, just looking now, it looks like they have a fence up there that you can't go out on that trestle. So we will not be able to venture out there, but at least you can see the trestle from here and proof that a railroad existed at one time. And this creek here is a real nice spot here for fishing, and in about 5 days there's probably going to be people lined all along here fishing, because fishing season opens statewide in Pennsylvania April 1st, and I'm pretty sure they already have this creek stocked already. But the other thing that I'm finding as proof of quarry operations is these rocks that are here. And this rock here, you can see the drill marks in the rock there. This one here has drill marks as well as the drill hole there. So all these rocks that you see here laying along here came from the quarry operations across the street over there. As far as I know, there wasn't any quarry operations up past here, up on the hill there. If I am wrong on that, I will correct myself at the bottom of the screen there, but as far as I know, this railroad just went up, did the switchback, and came down. So let's walk up the road here a little bit and you can see where it crossed over St. Peter's Road. So as I'm making my way out of the parking lot here to walk up the road, I'm seeing more piles of rock here from the quarry, and you can tell spring is here, even though it's a little cool yet at nighttime, but spring is here. Stuff's starting to flower up there, and the skunk cabbage is also coming up there, and I forget the technical name for it, but I'll put it at the bottom of the screen there. But yes, that is starting to come up, and it is actually late coming up this year. There were other times that right at the end of February or beginning of March, we had warm spells and it was coming up. So it's a little late coming up this year. But there's the train trestle again through the woods over there. So I want to get up the road there and show you where this crossed over. So the photographs that I did find online from back in the day, old aerial photographs, shows the railroad more or less running right over there along that building. So it would have came over here where I'm standing and continued on straight on up through there before it curved around and went up the hill there to the switching point to come down and go across the train trestle. So walking along the road here, you can see all the old houses that were in this village from back in the day. Lots of them have been restored, but they are all private residences now. The restaurant and shops is actually down the road, which you'll probably see once we get down to the down past the post office there to show you where the actual quarry is. So right here is the grade crossing where the railroad would have went, and you can see it up there going up through the woods there, and then comes over here and goes back to the train trestle that's back there. So over in there is more rocks that were pushed over here when they were having the quarry operations here. But right here is the old train bridge or train trestle. So we cannot go across it. They have the fence up and they don't want you crossing over the bridge or anything, but we can at least walk down here and have a close-up look at it from down below. And you can definitely tell too that there was a railroad bed here, because it has the coal ballast there and everything. So right in front of the post office there, you can see those two cement pillars that are there. I would imagine that has something to do with the railroad when it was here, but here are the little shops that are located along here. And we're going to walk down on this side here and check out the little village. And they even have an arcade at the village. That's amazing to see an arcade anymore. So there you can see the tavern or restaurant, and that is known as the Inn at St. Peter's. That restaurant used to be pricey back in the day. Last time I was there was probably about 30 years ago, and it is a little on the pricey side. But the area that I'm interested in is right here. Here is the old quarry. And we'll get up here. This is as close as we're going to get because they have it fenced off. I'm not quite sure how deep it is in there, but this is the old quarry from when they quarried out the rock here and ore and everything. And even up top there, I don't know if you can see that, but right up there, looks like there is an old crane up there yet. You see if I can zoom in on that a little bit for you. Yeah, right up there at the top, you can see it. Part of an old crane from the looks of it. And then right over there through the opening is where the railroad would have came up to this area where I'm standing, where they would have loaded the cars and everything. Not much of a grade here anymore because of, you know, man doing stuff here, leveling things to macadam it and everything. But there are some shops over there too. Looks like they have a blacksmith shop right here too. So in the parking area here across the street from the inn, they have a map of all the parks here in Chester County. They call it the Hopewell Big Woods. So we are right here at St. Peter's Village, but there is a bunch of places to go and explore here. Some of the pictures they have there is Joanna Furnace, which is a historic site. The railroad ran through that area over there too. The Wilmington and Northern branch went through there because there was another quarry over there where they got the materials for Bethlehem steel at one time. So that's going to be a future video at some point. And I almost missed this. I just happened to look from across the street, and here is one of the rail lines that came through here. So the beds would have went out and wrapped around the road out there, but yep. Here is one of the rails, and it actually goes back and dead ends back there where the shops are. So I don't know if there was some kind of bin here or something that they loaded cars here too. I don't know if that building was here when the railroad was here or not, but there's proof that there was a railroad. And just standing here looking up the road, there were a couple tracks coming down from the switchback up there, but you see all these humps that are in the road here. Those are pretty much all the remains of where the grade crossing was, where it crossed over the road here. So we are going to make our way from the parking area here and start making our way down the trails, and they have numerous trails here, but we are going to bear to the right and hopefully get on the other side of the creek and get up there to the railroad bed and start exploring that. So I'm not quite sure what this bridge would have been used for. I don't believe this was obviously used for the railroad, but this was probably to get equipment across over here from the the quarry operations or something at one time. So maybe we'll find some remains over here that'll give us more clues, but that would be my guess what the bridge was for. Looks like there's old coils of wire here, twisted wire. Not sure what that would have been used for, but whole bunch of it laying along here. And it looks like up in the back here there's more rocks dumped, and I'm pretty sure if I walk up here that this is probably an area where they dumped some of the rocks from the quarry over here, as it definitely looks like some of this stuff is not natural. Even looks like this road here continues on out through there, so most likely that bridge was to get trucks and equipment over here to do more work on this side of the road. All right, so I finally made it onto the railroad bed, and when I come back down here, I'm probably going to kick myself, because down there were a group of people on the rocks there, and it was probably the better place to cross over the creek to get to the railroad bed here, rather than that mess I came through there. But yeah, this is the railroad bed, and yeah, lots of rock in here and everything. And how they managed to get a railroad through here with as many rocks and everything that's in here, but they did. So I came across my first remain along here, and I'm not sure if this is railroad related or not, but there is a concrete foundation right next to the railroad bed, which is now a creek. I'll give you a better angle of the railroad bed here in a minute, because this is the worst railroad bed I've ever seen. But yeah, so I'm not sure if this is was part of the railroad. I imagine it probably was, but I'm almost certain that there probably was some kind of culvert here at one time, that this creek went under. there is a pipe there, but now that I see the creek coming down here, explains why the railroad bed is in such bad shape. Because if you look down through there, that is the railroad bed. I've never seen a railroad bed look like that, but years of flooding and eroding and everything, that's what happens to it. But just on the other side here, it gets better again. This is just terrible through here. It's hard to imagine that this was even a railroad. I thought that the railroad bed would get better, but it's still all eroded away through here. It just looks like there's a path going through the woods. Really can't tell that it's a railroad bed at all, but there are signs of it. There's a railroad tie, and right there's another railroad tie. So, but yeah, I've never seen a railroad bed quite this bad before. And as I'm walking along here, now that I got and can see where the signature of the bed is here, it actually looks wide enough that there could have been 2 tracks through here at one time. But now we're getting into more ballast right here, the old coal ballast. But definitely looks wide enough that there could have been 2 tracks through here. So again, the aerial photographs that I found from back in the 30s and 40s, you really can't see. You can tell there's a railroad here, but the tracks aren't that well defined. You can tell there is something that looks like a track here, but you can't tell if there's more than one. And I see something pretty cool coming up ahead here. It looks like it's another old trestle, and it looks like we can actually walk across this one. But right here, and with that big rock there, it looks like this might have been only one track through here. So maybe down through where it's wider down there, maybe they had little sidings in there. You never know. I don't know for sure, but if anybody watches this and has more information on this other than what I was able to find on, the old internet and everything, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below. But this bridge, yeah, judging by the way it's built here and the width of it, yeah, it looks like it was only for one rail. This would have been the side right here, and over there you can see the other side, so the track would have been right here. But yeah, this is definitely cool finding that this is still here yet. So here's a side shot of the trestle, and it's just amazing the thick pieces of wood that's in there used to make that thing, and still have the bolts in there. But I'll tell you what, that centerpiece that's right there, yeah, it looks like it's getting eroded away rather at the bottom there from high waters, raging waters, flooding and everything. But the abutments still look like they're in pretty good condition yet. But so cool just finding a trestle out here in literally the middle of nowhere. Another rock along here that's got drill marks in it. And that one over there, you can see the holes drilled into it. So just walking through here, yes, this was definitely one track only through here, just by the how narrow the bed is and everything. And I should also mention in here too, so the actual location of the Y for this, for the Warwick branch here, was actually over in Elverson. And I'll put an old photograph up there, and you can see where it was back in the day compared to what it looks like today. I'm not even sure if there's going to be any signs over there of it. And I think when I checked the records over there, the actual Y is on private property, so we won't be able to get over there and explore that. But I just found something interesting here, and I'm not sure where this goes, but right there you can see there is a spur going off right here. So I don't know where this goes, if this just goes back and dead ends back there, if there was another quarry back there somewhere, or mine or something or other. But I don't know if there's a path on that or not, that we could walk back there and explore that. But I did see just up ahead there a little bit is the next road, and I believe that is called Trestle Road. I just saw a car pass up there, so that is where we will go, and go up to that point and turn around and come back. The trail does continue past that. It is still public land. The bed itself is owned by Chester County, but you cannot go on either side of the bed. That is private property. But I came up here to where this splits off, where this goes, and yeah, that goes back there. So I think we're going to have to walk back there when we come back down and see how far back that goes. So there is where we came from St. Peter's Village. We are now here at the Trestle Road crossing, or grade crossing, and this is the Horseshoe Trail, and this does continue on out through there a little bit, so we may go over there and see if we can find anything. But right along here they do have a pull-off area that you can park at, and there is more rocks here from the quarry, but I'm sure these were definitely put here to block vehicles from going in the trail there and everything. But yeah, you can actually stop here and park and walk down towards the village, or continue on across the street over there, which we will venture over there as soon as I can see if we can find any remains of where there would have been the crossing signs here at all. And one thing to point out too, there is a company back there. It's called the Pennsylvania Granite Corporation. So that is private property over there. There's also, yeah, it looks like there's a garage up there for their facilities. But no signs here saying no trespassing, so this is still owned by Chester County yet. And there's even a sign on the tree there saying it's privately owned nature preserve. But no signs of where the crossing markers would have been there, or the crossbucks, whatever you want to call them there. But still pretty cool that we're able to walk a good portion of it. Well, I shouldn't say a good portion of it, but some of it anyway. Right down there is a pond, and I can hear the spring peeps again. They are getting to be more and more frequent now. In one of my previous videos, when I was up at the top of Hawken Creek earlier in the month, I heard them up there for the first time, but they are getting more and more frequent. I'm hearing them at my place, in my neighbor's pond, and right here they are really loud here. So I'm just checking this service road that comes in here, which I don't believe you can bring vehicles in and park down there. Otherwise they would have had it open down there at the gate. I think this is just for the county to bring their vehicles in, but it looks like there were some parking areas here at one time. There's numerous ones up along here with little culverts going across this spring nets here. So I don't know if this would have been something to do with you know, quarry operations with that quarry over there at one time, that business, or what this could have been used for here either. So we are going to stop here at this point and turn around and head back. This might be a future video. I'll come back here and walk down that part of it. I don't know if I'll get back here to it in the spring before everything starts growing in, and see if we can find remains of anything down there, as far down as it goes until you run into private property. I think it goes another 2 miles or something down there, maybe a little longer. I'm not quite sure, but I know it goes down there a little bit. But we're turning around and heading back, and I want to check out that spur that I discovered coming up here. And also, I don't know about, maybe this part would be okay. I don't know, this looks pretty okay there, but where we came up, you saw it in the video, I definitely would not take a bike on that railroad bed. Not down there through that bad section of it. That is just terrible terrain down there. I wouldn't bring any kind of bike on that trail. So I did follow that spur back here, and yes, that is a spur because we got plenty of proof of it right here. There's railroad ties laying here, and there is the remains of a bridge here. And unfortunately, I can't see the date in the diamond over there because somebody had to destroy it and graffiti it. But it continues on. Where it goes back there, I don't know. Looks like there's a path there, but I'm not venturing back there because there is really nowhere to cross here to go over there. Plus that looks like it's getting pretty thick back there. But I'll walk down here along the creek bed and see if I can get closer and see if I can make out a number as to when this bridge was built. But yeah, I'm running out of luck here too. So, but yeah, a diamond was there when it was built, and that's the only marking on the bridge here. But it's starting to rain. I'm going to be making my way back to the vehicle. It's only drizzling right now, light stuff, and hopefully it'll stay that way till I get back to the car. And I thought when I came walking up here, it looked like there might have been a bed over there, another spur, and it looks like over there, it looks like there might be another bridge over there or something. So we're going to go over and check that out while I'm here too. Maybe that'll give some more clues as to the other bridge that's up in there. And hopefully the rain doesn't pick up again. Yep, definitely looks like there was another spur here at one time. And judging by the gravel that's there, yep, this was a spur. So I'll have to do some more research and see if there might have been a Y here at one time. But the only Y that I knew of for this was the one that's over in Elverson. So we got to check this out again and see if we can figure this out, because it goes over into this, crosses over the creek here again, but it is just so thick on the other side, and there is no way of getting over there. But yep, another bridge. So I am really curious as to what this would have been and what it would, you know, what was over here, because I can see the other bridge just up through there where we were at. It's just right up through the thick stuff there. So interesting, to say the least. So here is another view of this washed out section where the creek actually crossed right here, but decided to take out the railroad bed and make its own path again. So I came down a little bit further from where I crossed when we went up through there, found another path and climbed over all those rocks. And it felt like I was at that boulder field up there in the Poconos at Hickory Run State Park, or in a Mario Brothers game, hopping from rock to rock. But yeah, should have came down a little bit further, and yeah, here's the easiest path right here. So, but we are just about back at the vehicle, so we got to walk out the path here yet, and then go across that bridge, and we'll be back at the parking lot. So hopefully you enjoyed that tour of St. Peter's Village here and the hike along the Warwick Branch of the Wilmington and Northern Railroad. I did not venture down further towards the train trestle where we started the video there and everything, because it was starting to rain a little bit more heavy. Now it's stopped again, but my luck here is going to run out very soon, so I don't want to get soaked or anything. And as far as I know, there really isn't anything in that short distance there anyway, as far as if there's any remains or anything. But definitely will be coming back over here at some point and exploring the other part of the Horseshoe Trail on the other side of Tythall Road. So hopefully you found it enjoyable. If you did, please give it the thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button down there, and you can also ring the bell down there and be notified when I upload new content to YouTube. So again, thank you to the new subscribers and everyone that follows me on the other social media platforms. Until next time, it's have a ball and do it all. We'll see you soon.